Alright, what's going on, you guys? This is Kevin, Full Metal Ginger, and yeah, man, I'm going to talk about some more 2020 metal today. I think I've only got like 3 of them in here, so it shouldn't take too long to run through those. And then after that, we are going to do some much needed catching up on the white metal collection. I've had quite a few things starting to pile up in here, and all this stuff's been in forever now, so it's like if I don't talk about it now, it's never going to get discussed whatsoever. Pretty much everything you already know, but there might be a release in here that you haven't heard or that you might not own, so yeah, should be fun. It's been a long, stressful week, and today was even worse, so I'm not going to spend too much time rambling. Let's just get into it. Talk about some music, maybe make me feel a little better. Alright, so soundtrack today, Dodsferd-Spitting with Hatred, The Insignificance of Life. I can never remember that full title. Absolute phenomenal Greek black metal band. One of my favorites, not just in that scene, but worldwide, that's for damn sure. I've actually got quite a few of their releases starting to pile up in here, so I need to talk about those soon. I was kind of thinking about maybe doing a whole video on their stuff, but it'll probably just end up in another collection update. So if you haven't heard this band, do yourself a favor, check the links below. Phenomenal stuff. Alright, so let's do some new stuff, and we'll go from there. So this one is, I think their 7th full length overall. This one just came out a few weeks ago. This is the new one from Cardiac Arrest. Chicago death metal. Like I was saying, I'm pretty sure it's their 7th full length. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but yeah, once again, it's a fucking riff machine, man. Adam and Tom's guitar work is great. And it's just really, you know, their stuff is just pretty much a compilation of just old school death metal riffs. I mean, you've got the chugging parts, the really fast tremolo picking, the dive bombs, the amazing, you know, shredding solos and shit like that, man. It's just, they do no wrong. And that can kind of sound boring. It's like, oh, we've heard that before. But what they make it, the reason they make it sound so good is just the execution is just, you know, straightforward to the point. They don't fuck around. They know what they're doing. They know where to put the stuff. Veteran band at this point, so they've definitely been around the block a few times. I think they've been around since like 97, so yeah, I mean, it's like every classic riff written into this album, but it's done so well. I mean, you can't say enough positive things about it. It's just a great example of how to really do an old school death metal album, you know, and make it sound great and make it sound fresh, even though it's, you know, something you haven't heard before. This is the head split version. I think Memento Mori put out I know they put out a CD. I'm not sure if there's a vinyl release for this. I'm sure there is, or if there's not, there will be at some point. So, but yeah, the head split version is just on tape. There's the J card, really nothing else in there. So, yeah, sick tones, sick riffs, just great stuff all the way around. And I know I say this every single time anymore. I'm talking about new material, but another one that's just, I can't stop listening to. So, I mean, you know, when the end of the year list rolls around, it's going to be really fucking difficult to kind of put that together. I don't even know how I'm going to place some of this stuff, because it's just been all, I haven't gotten a lot of stuff in this year, but it's just, the stuff I have, it's just been fucking brilliant. I've loved every bit of it, so I don't know how that's going to work out. There you go. This one, I don't know how too familiar a lot of you are going to be with this. This is brand new. Just based on the description of it when I heard it was coming out, I was like, yeah, I definitely have to have that. I think it's a brand new band from Italy, I think, and this is their mini album debut, I suppose. This is Neanderthal Noise Machine, and I've tried to find information on them. I don't think there's a Metal Archives page for them, so I can't really tell you a whole lot. I know they're made up of members from, I want to say, Bastille Evil, Baphomet's Blood. I mean, there's a bunch of other ones that they were that they had either still actively playing in or ex-members of. But this is basically some old school, early '80s speed metal worship. Basically, Motorhead and Venom put together. I mean, there's some other, you know, kind of stuff mixed in there with it. Some other inspirations and stuff like that, but I mean, that's basically the gist of it. So I mean, if you're into anything early 80s, you know, before thrash really started kicking in, it's just basically that. And you know, I mean, for some people it's like, oh well, it's just not as good as the old stuff, and I kind of see what you're talking about, but This stuff I think is really, really good, man. The solos are just mind-blowing. You know, not in the sense that they're just so technically proficient, but they just sound so good. All the rhythms are really good. It's pretty much everything you'd look for when you're, you know, checking out some Venom or Saxon or, you know, all that early stuff. So that's basically the gist of that. I wish I could tell you more. Great riffs, great solos, pure debauchery music. I just don't have enough info to really kind of give you much more than that. And granted, you know, me trying to spend each time with all these albums this week has just been really, really stressful trying to get this one done. So I might just need to revisit this one again sometime soon on video to kind of give you a little bit more. But yeah, again, if you're a fan of anything, you know, really early 80s, 82, 83-ish, all the kind of stuff that was popular around that time, this is probably something to be right up your alley. So kick-ass stuff. And I can't believe I haven't talked about this one yet. I've had this one in pretty much since it came. Well, no, it's been out a while, but I just kind of got around to getting it, and then it sat on the shelf forever before I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot to show this one. This is the new one from Midnight-Rebirth By Blasphemy. And it's pretty much what you come to expect with any kind of Midnight album. You know, all the old school riffs are still there. The only real difference with this, I guess, is where it's their Metal Blade debut, or Athenar's Metal Blade debut. There's like a bit more polish on some of the stuff. It's not like it's, you know, super overproduced or anything. It's just, it's a little less raw than, you know, some of the early material. But I mean, that's to be expected. You know, probably has a little bit better of a budget, you know, in terms of recording now. But it's not that it doesn't sound great. It still maintains all the old Midnight sound. It's just, you know, it's a little bit more amped up and a little bit more tweaked, if that makes any sense. For me, with this one, the jury's kind of still out. Now, granted, I haven't listened to it a crap ton. But, I mean, you know, a lot of the earlier Midnight stuff, it just, song after song after song, I'd be really hooked on, and, you know, I'd have it stuck in my head for days on end. This one, not so much lately. This one's kind of more like how Sweet Death and Ecstasy was. Like, it took me a while to really, I don't want to say grasp it, but it took me a while to really fall in love with it, and it turned out to be one of my favorites from them, honestly. This one is still kind of growing on me, and I think it's just where the riffs aren't really sticking in my head too much. Not that there's not great riffs on here. I mean, fucking Speed and Darkness, Rebirth by Blasphemy, The Sounds of Hell, You Can Drag Me Through Fire, stuff like that. That's the songs I've really, really enjoyed. Raw Attack too. Some of the other ones, they're kind of growing on me, so I'm still kind of hit or miss on this album thus far. I don't want to say it sounds like filler, but it's just kind of, and maybe it's just where I'm kind of coming back to this album now, just kind of with the week I had, but it's just whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm not to say I'm not really, really digging it, but yeah, still pretty much classic Midnight. I mean, you know what Midnight sounds like, so there you go. There's that. Alright, let's talk about some black metal. And again, these are all stuff I'm sure you've at least heard of. But there might be I think I've got a couple EPs in here that, I don't know, maybe you've had it, maybe you don't. This first one is one of my absolute favorites, and it actually, I don't know why, I know this sounds really lame and dumb, but like summertime, maybe it's just where it's so hot, black metal doesn't hit me like it normally does, you know, when it's colder out. And I know that's a stupid thing to say, but I don't know, it's just kind of how it is for me. So if I'm going to listen to this stuff, I'm listening to it in the morning, like when I'm going to work, and or just like really late at night, and that's been making it a little bit more enjoyable for me, like kind of getting back into this. But listening to this album is something I can hear all day long at any time. Great fucking band and album. This is with Hearts Toward None from Mgla. I mean, great Polish black metal. Their second full length, absolutely mesmerizing, man. Loaded to the gills with melodies, and you know me, man. I'm a sucker for hooks and that kind of stuff. And this is just chock full of that kind of stuff. Really majestic. I don't know. It's just one of those things that kind of take me to another place, really. And I don't know. That's another lame thing to say, but it's just kind of one of those transporting type of albums. Yeah, man. It's pretty much music that's meant to be experienced and not so much dissected. But sonically, it sounds really big while still maintaining all that simplicity. and it's just a hypnotic, trance-inducing type of thing for me. I can't get enough of this band. I mean, they've been around for fucking ever at this point, and it's not that I haven't listened to them before. It's just kind of like, it's almost like I've been rediscovering them this week, because I haven't listened to this in a long, long time. And I need to get back to getting their stuff, man. And I think right now this is the only thing I have. I got another one coming in just because I was like, why have I not picked up more Mgla stuff? I don't know. It is what it is. So I'm going to track down the rest of the stuff eventually. So, yeah. I mean, you know, and that's another thing I want to mention right now, since they get credit for that all the time. I love Mgla, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Wada, or Uwada, or however the fuck you say the band. They get shit on quite a bit. I mean, I get, you know, where people are coming from. Like, Mgla does it better, and I will probably agree that they do it better. But Wada does have their own kind of sound. It's definitely highly, highly influenced by Mgla, but I don't know, man. I don't get the hate when you have a band like that sounds great, and you're going to shit all over them for basically ripping off Mgla, but you're not going to rip off 50,000 bands that are direct rip-offs of Entombed or Deicide. You know, it's just kind of like, I don't get the hate towards them, and I don't know. Just my little take on it. I actually love both bands, so you guys can shit on me all you want. Definitely let me know in the comments how you feel about it, but yeah, phenomenal fucking album. I think I've got Exercises in Futility coming in. I don't know why I didn't have it until now. That one's definitely my favorite. This is a very, very close second in terms of their releases, so there you go. Alright, I haven't talked about this band since the end of the year list last year, so that's been weird, because this one's been in probably around the same time that one came in. I don't know, maybe a little bit later. This is the demo from Departure Chandelier. The Black Crest of Death and the Gold Wreath of War. I mean, that's basically both the songs on here. No. That's one song. And you got Consecrating the Flame of Resistance. Goddamn, some absolutely wonderful black metal, man. A project from the Ashpool guys. So, there you go with that. This is their 2011 demo. Really dark, melancholic, dismal stuff, man. It varies very little. So, I mean, there's a lot of mid-tempo stuff and there's a lot of slower stuff. It never really breaks out of that gear. But it's just so, I don't know how to describe it, man. It's so colossally heavy, but very, you know, very raw. Still has all like the black metal elements, but it's probably the keyboards, honestly, that really sets this apart, because it, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of differentiating between notes and rhythms. I mean, it's usually just 2 or 3 chords and just, you know, riffs that go on and on forever, endlessly. But when you have the keyboards into it, and I mean, just the atmosphere it creates is so fucking good, man. Just really delivers on that, you know, really morbid vibe. And I want to say, man, I really think of like gloomy and rainy days when I'm listening to this. Definitely not really thinking about the Napoleonic Wars and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. But yeah, their Antichrist Rise to Power album that came out last year, I was very, very high on that. This stuff's just as good. And, I mean, out of all the stuff in here, probably outside of Mgla, this is, I would say, absolutely my favorite one. You know, in terms of bands in general, how much I like them. I absolutely love Departure Chandelier. I mean, I think you all know who they are by now. But yeah, phenomenal shit. And it's weird, too, how you can make something sound so good when it's just that simple. There's not a lot to it. But it's just the way everything is put together. It just makes it sound bigger than what it is. But when you really sit there and dissect it and listen to it, it's like, there's that note, and then there's this note, and it's just over and over and over, but it's just, I don't know, man, it sounds so fucking good. So, there's that one. Alright, and I probably said a while back I had some more Primigenium for you, and this is their demo also, actually. This is As Eternal as the Night. Now, like when I was talking about their Art of War album, it's pretty much like Immortal, like on maybe the Pure Holocaust album, but on the full length it's a little bit more epic sounding, a little bit more big, and on this it's pretty much pretty much Pure Holocaust and put it on make a demo out of it, basically. That's kind of what you get here. Rapid fire blasting with really heavy fast riffs. The vocals here are a little bit more the higher screaming style, but you know what, actually it's probably a little bit more reminiscent of Maniac Butcher, probably. Their earlier work anyway. It's pretty comparable. So Deviant Records put this one out. This originally came out in 94. This is the 2013 reissue. And I think the only thing different is, so originally it had the first 2 songs on here, and As Eternal as the Night and Art of War were added later. Just like, you know, bonus and outro or whatever. I think As Eternal as the Night was recorded in 95. So I guess they made us, because this was already out, so I guess they had a song set aside, and it just ended up naming the demo after it. But yeah, this version is limited to 500. If you can find it, definitely would recommend it. I mean, if you like Immortal at all, or Maniac Butcher, this will definitely be something that'd be up your alley. So there you go. Really big into Primigenium too, and it's another one of those bands I really want to be able to track down all their stuff and be able to say I have it. Alright, this one, no one's going to be unfamiliar with this at all, and I just kind of wanted to show it just because I'm very, very fond of it. I know everyone knows this, but I've just never had my opportunity to talk about it. So, here's Volahn-Aq Ab. I never knew how to fucking pronounce that. Their second full-length California black metal. Yeah, man. Just from seeing them live and just hearing these songs, and every time I put this on, I'm reminded of when I was able to go see them in Spartanburg a few years ago. Amazing fucking show, by the way. And yeah, it was a long time before I ever had any of their music. At the show, I wasn't able to get any because they didn't have any, so that was kind of a bummer. And a lot of times, some of their stuff's hard to find for whatever reason. This is just like a digipack reissue. It's out on Iron Bonehead, but I'm pretty sure it's not an original at all. So this stuff, man, really raw, noisy, but just absolutely overflowing with atmosphere. And it's kind of like with Mgla, it's another atmosphere, or yeah, I mean, it's loaded with atmosphere, but it's another majestic kind of trance-inducing masterpiece, pretty much. So the lo-fi recording makes it a bit hard to understand what's going on a lot of times, but that to me is part of the charm. You know, you're sitting there listening to it and just more absorbing it than kind of like really trying to figure out, okay, the riff's going here, and then you've got the drum hook, and this kind of fades, and this rises up. You know, it's more to just kind of sit there and soak it in and just let it be what it is, and that's where I've always got a lot of enjoyment out of it. It just kind of adds to the experience, pretty much. Something to lose yourself in, really. Now, this may be a bit of a controversial statement, but for me, like the main guitars in this, at least on the first song, which I can't pronounce, I'm not even going to attempt, it sounds a lot like maybe like surf music, like a really weird rendition of some surfer music, because every time I'm listening to that song, I'm always kind of picturing like sunset at a beach somewhere, so it's dark. It's like, you know, really like more of a dismal kind of surf music. Does that make any sense at all, or is that just me, you know, thinking way too out of the box? I don't know, that's just kind of what always makes me think of when I'm listening to this, but it's probably just the tone of the guitar, honestly. Yeah, sometimes it reminds me of like something like this Rhythmia would have done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's fairly familiar with this album at this point, I would imagine. I don't need to say much more, so there. Alright, got a couple more left. This one is, I'm trying to think, I think this is an EP. I know it came out back in 2000. This is another one from Judas Iscariot. Got a few Judas Iscariots in here. This is Dethroned, Conquered, and Forgotten. Came out around 2000. I don't know if I said that already. Now, what makes this one particularly good, in my opinion, is Dwayne Timlin was on this at the time. This is about the era he was playing in. And a lot of Judas Iscariot stuff, like when you're listening to the drums, like you can hear mistakes here and there. They're not as sharp, they're not as consistent, but this one, holy fuck, I mean, every single drum beat is just on time, it's absolutely perfect, and I've just been blown away by this every time I'm listening to it. And the riffs work really well with it, you know, considering they're usually played at a much slower speed. So you've got a nice combo of, you know, atmosphere and just devastating blast, and you still got that kind of like Satanic Warmaster style of music going on, but, you know, it's just played at a little bit more of a relentless pace, you know. The raw atmospheric parts are still present, which I honestly like a little bit more in terms of this kind of style of music. But you can't really ignore these drums, man. They're done so well. It's just been a fucking ball listening to this. I played it quite a few times this week on the way to work in the morning, and it's just like, god damn, just fucking loving every bit of it. So yeah, as usual, there's really nothing in the booklet to discuss. I mean, it's just talking about what Judas Iscariot is. Some of these are kind of like hokey. Like Judas Iscariot is the blackest night sky, pulling your imagination to its depths. Yeah, some kind of poetry, but at the same time it sounds a little bit cheesy and corny, which that to me is some of the fun of metal, and black metal especially. So another one of my favorite black metal bands ever. Love everything pretty much that Judas Iscariot's put out, and it kind of bummed they're not really around anymore. Well, he's not really around anymore. He might be doing other things, but I don't think Judas has been going on for a while now. Alright, I think we have another EP. No, this is a compilation. This is some Sargeist. Rebirth of a Cursed Existence. The 2013 compilation. This is pretty much just like bonus tracks, material from splits, EPs, and actually I think some other compilations on here. It's pretty typical of the whole Finnish black metal style and Sargeist in general. But all the songs are really good. Raw mid-tempo stuff mostly. But there's enough variety to kind of keep you interested. Slower stuff, faster stuff. Overall, pretty much stays fairly mid-tempo, and it's still loaded with the dark, moody riffs, and just another one of those that just combines that beauty and savagery just really well. So on here it's telling you everything, where every one of the songs came from. And you got lyrics, and that's really about it. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Sargeist either. I just don't have a lot from this band as well, so kind of need to get on that. I've been on such a death metal kick over the last several years. It's just been hard to. I've been ignoring black metal, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of these bands that I've just was really tracking their stuff down, and then just kind of faded out of that for whatever reason. But yeah, Sargeist in terms of the Finland sound. Yeah, another burner for me. Don't think there's anything Sargeist has done that I haven't liked, so there you go. Alright, and I couldn't end this without having some death metal, and the main reason I wanted to show this is, again, it's like I'm never going to get around to this if I don't do it right now. But yeah, I've had this in for quite a while, and it's just like I've got to talk about this and get it done. So we have a new reissue, a very well done reissue. It actually came out last year. This is the 1999 full length from Regurgitation. Should probably cover some of this up. Tales of Necrophilia. Absolutely repulsive, brutal death, honestly. They're from Ohio. I don't know what I was thinking. So originally this was on Ablated Records, but Hell's Headbangers put this one out last year, and they did a phenomenal job with it. I mean, it's just like, I'm always talking about how I hate digipacks, and this is one of those digibooks that's just, it's done very well. So if you're not familiar, it's a death metal band kind of in the vein of Disgorge, and the American Disgorge. And I want to say, when I'm listening to this, I'm actually reminded a lot of Defeated Sanity's passages into Deformity, but it's mainly like the guitar tone and how sharp and precise and how much attack there is on it. Played in a totally different style, but that's just kind of the sound I hear when I'm listening to this. So take that sound and make it a little bit more of a Disgorge sound, and that's pretty much what you get here. A little bit more of there's the brutal death stuff, but they also combine, elements of like just pretty much traditional death metal, and that's kind of what you're getting at right here. But yeah, man, I don't know why they didn't get around to really recording another full length, but this one is just fucking kick-ass. Highly recommend this, by the way. So I'll show you what all they did with this. It's a digibook, and great artwork all throughout. It's actually a CD and DVD combo, and I haven't got around to watching the DVD yet for whatever reason. But yeah, man, did a great job with this. This is how you do a digipack or digibook or anything like that. Just loaded with art and lyrics and everything you're going to possibly need. And here's the DVD. Actually, I probably need to go ahead and watch this one sometime tonight, so I'm going to try to go ahead and get on that. But yeah, glad this finally got reissued, because this has been out since '99, and I know quite a few people who are actually looking for this, and finally got reissued, and everyone pretty much jumped on this at once. And again, it was one of those things where I didn't want to be Johnny-come-lately and also jump on the bandwagon. Hey, look what else I got as well. Probably sick of it, so I waited a while, and then I waited way too long. So been like almost a year now, or if not over a year, since this one's been put out again. So yeah, really happy to have it. Amazing fucking shit. Alright, so that's it for me. No idea what's coming next. I'm going to have to kind of go in here and look around, see what we got. Got tapes to do, plenty of CDs. Might just do some Dodsferd next, I don't know. Still want to do that idea I had where I've got, you know, multiple albums from one band I haven't talked about yet, so that could be next. We'll wait and see. Definitely check out all these bands if you're not familiar with some of it, or, you know, it might be some stuff of theirs that you haven't came across yet. I'll leave links below for everything, and yeah, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of thing. Give me a subscribe and a like while you're at it. Really appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.